Motivation feels amazing, but motivation will lie to you. It shows up when you're excited and disappears when life gets hard. So what are you going to do at that moment when it gets hard?
The Mindset Manual with Myron Williams.
Hey family, welcome to the Mindset Manual, the place where we talk about the hard truths most people avoid, but the truths that can actually change your life. I'm Myron, entrepreneur, father, and student of life. Today, we're talking about one of the harsh truths about success. This is episode 2 of my 8-part series on the harsh truths about success. Thank you for joining me as I give real-life testimony on entrepreneurship and strengthening emotional intelligence to handle any situation. If you haven't hit that like button yet, please hit the like and subscribe button to help support the show and spread the word to help us grow. Many people chase motivation. They watch speeches and they wait to feel inspired. But motivation is temporary. Say you have a good idea for a new t-shirt business. You believe it's a great idea, but you make the mistake that most of us do. You tell somebody about it and they say it could work, but it's probably going to cost a lot to start. Now, just like that, you've been infected with their poison. Your motivation just got zapped because someone with zero experience in making products just gave you their opinion on an idea that they know nothing about. So what's the antidote for this infection? It's called discipline. Discipline is different. Discipline means doing the work when you're tired, stressed, and distracted. So I want to share a story with you about one of my entrepreneurial ventures I went into 15, 18 years ago. I started a car business where not like a traditional sales car lot business where I had a bunch of cars sitting on a car lot and trying to sell your car. It wasn't that type of thing. It was what we call an auto broker, where you buy a car, fix it, and sell it, or flip it, so to speak, flip the cars, a car flipper. And so, I kind of got that urge from my dad. He liked to restore old cars and fix them up and then sell them to people who were admirers of those type of cars and fixed up old cars. Now, he was handy. He painted and did, body work and all this different stuff. Me, I'm not that good with my hands. I'm more of a tech guy. So, that wasn't my thing. But the love of cars probably came from that. So I decided I wanted to start this business, this auto broker business. And like I said, we always do. We make the mistake of talking to our friends or talking to our family about an idea that we have and we feel strong about it. But first thing we do is go ask for confirmation that it's a good idea. And so that's what I did. I asked, of course, one of my friends, hey, man, I'm thinking about flipping some cars or whatnot. He's like, why do you want to do that? You can just, somebody want to buy a car, just go to the car lot and pay for it and, buy it. I'm like, nah, man, it's not that type of deal. I'm going to fix them and then sell them and make a profit. He's not a businessman. He's a worker. He's an employee. Doesn't know about hustle and things like that. So, of course, his response wasn't that great. It's fine. I had an idea. I felt like it was a good idea. And it was something I wanted to do. It didn't cost a lot of money. You didn't have to go to school and get a whole bunch of credit hours for it. It was something that you can do with your own money on your own time and do it. And I felt like I had the time and the resources to do it. So I did. So let's move on with it. So the first thing I did is figured out how was I going to get the cars. And I said, well, if I look on Craigslist, there's a lot of cars on there. I could buy them off of there and then fix them up and sell them. And I did that for a minute. Didn't work out so well doing it that way. I'll say it didn't because a lot of the cars I bought were junk and they were basically junk. I couldn't really fix them and sell them. It would cost me too much to fix it to make a profit off of it. So a lot of them I end up just giving them away to my little cousins and stuff like that because they weren't, they was just too much work. But I didn't give up. I said, okay, I need to take this to another level. I need access to some better cars. So then I seen an ad for an auction. It was a public auction. So I'm like, okay, I can go to the auction. I probably can buy some cars at the auction and get better cars, better prices and all this. Sounds like a great idea, right? Let me tell you, those public auctions are a trip and they are a trap. They are a real trap. What it is dealers are bringing in their cars that they can't sell or they know are really bad and they don't want to put it on their lot and they'll bring them and sell them to the public at a discount. Now, as soon as you drive out of that auction, a lot of those cars will break down because it's the public. They don't know any better. And I was right in there in the mix buying those cars up, thinking I had a deal, and turning out I had some more garbage. But once again, I didn't give up. I kept going. I was like, okay, now I know. What happens was, and I think back on it, what happened was going to those auctions, me being a social butterfly type of person that I am, I actually met a couple of dealers that were selling cars there. And they told me, oh man, you're trying to buy for yourself and sell. You should be buying them at the big auction where we buy them at, the private auction, the dealer auctions. I'm like, man, how do I get into that? It's like, oh, you got to get a dealer's license. Dealer's license, okay. So one of the guys told me, man, it's not that hard. Just go to the local Secretary of State, apply for it, man. It's really not that hard. So, me being a businessman, I'm like, okay, there's levels to this. Just like everything else, there's levels to it. There's levels to this too. So I went through the process and I got a real dealer's license. I went through the process. Didn't take that long, didn't cost that much. Just needed the location, like a little small office and some bonding, insurance and stuff like that, garage liability. It wasn't really that expensive. I called my State Farm guy and he set it up. It wasn't that complicated. But I got the license, and what that did was it got me access to the bigger auctions. And once I was able to get into the big auctions, you had access to cars that were at your local Chevrolet dealership that they brought in from a trade-in. They brought it into the auction to sell to dealers to flip. So I gained access to a lot of cars, a lot of unlimited amount of types of cars. Thing was, I didn't know much about fixing a car, or if a car is making a sound or doing something. I didn't know much about it. But I had a friend that knew a lot about it. He owned a car shop. So I started reaching out to him and saying, hey, man, the car has this code in it on the check engine light, and it has this code. And he would tell me what that meant. So that would give me the green light to buy the car. So I used my resources to advance my business by finding out, oh, this car isn't that bad. It sounds bad, but it wasn't that bad. And that just led on to other things. As I went on through the learning about the cars, I started meeting different people. I met this one guy. He said, man, all I sell are Hondas. He sold just Honda Civics and Honda Accords and stuff like that. He said, man, you don't know much about cars. You should just find one car and stick with it. Who tells you that? This guy's, he's doing his thing, but he didn't see me as competition. We were about the same age. He saw me out there doing my thing. He would see me at the auction all the time. And we just started talking. It turns out we had a lot in common. We're from the same place, same state. We went to colleges that were rivals, a lot of stuff in common. But he put me on. And this is nobody that I know. But the thing is, I still talk to this guy to this day. 20 years later, I still talk to him to this day. He's still doing car stuff and real estate and stuff like that. We still cool, but he wasn't one of my friend circles. He was just a perfect stranger that was clapping for me on the sideline, wanted to see me do good. And those people are rare. But if you get one like that, they'll help you, and you have to help the next person. And that's kind of what I'm doing with these stories that I'm telling you guys. These are real life stories that, I'm helping you learn from the things that I've done. So it's karma. People give you karma, you give out good karma. It all comes around back and forth. But this guy told me about selling, just find a good car. And he recommended, try like a Ford Focus or Chevrolet this or a Kia that. He told me like 4 or 5 different cars that were decent cars that I can make a profit off of. And I chose one. I chose the Ford Focus. It turned out to be a great choice for me, man. I sold a lot of those cars. I would have 10, 15 focuses between my warehouse and my house, and then my guy who had his repair shop and the guy that had the paint shop, all those different things, all those resources. And these were people that I met at the auction, or a person I met at the auction would give me a paint guy that he knew, or this guy would give me a tire guy, or this guy would give me an interior guy. So yeah, stepped away from my friend circle, asking for their resources. I met new people, and that's part of it. Just being able to grow your business off of your resources, being emotionally aware when you're talking to people, being approachable so people can approach you, and you can approach people with good energy, and so many great things can open up for you. That auto broker business was a great business. I just got older and I wanted to do some other things because that's the type of entrepreneur I am. but it was always a great and profitable business for us. Sometimes, I wish I had kept it and just let one of my, family members ran it for me, but I moved on. But I just wanted to share that story with you guys. It's one of those things, and it's just part of life. I just want you to really open your eyes when you have a business idea or a dream or something that you want to chase. You got to go after it. You can't let somebody else deter you from that dream. So I want you to think about this as an entrepreneur. Eventually, we all learn this lesson. There's going to be days that you feel unstoppable and days that you feel everything's just so heavy. But discipline will keep the journey moving. Motivation might start the journey, but discipline finishes it. Let's wrap up for today and pick up on episode 3, where I'm going to discuss how your friends can hold you back. Your circle, sometime you're going to have to change it, but we'll discuss that in episode 3. Make sure you join me. Just want to say, family, thank you for watching and sharing this journey with me on the Mindset Manual. If you haven't already clapped for me and hit that subscribe and like button, please do that at this time. I would really appreciate it. If you know anyone that needs to hear this testimony, be sure to share it with them. Invite them to the family so they can join the mindset. So until next time, I just want you to stay focused, stay balanced, and keep practicing your emotional intelligence.
The Mindset Manual with Myron Williams.